Hello everybody, Eugene here. Welcome back to another video, back with weather forecasting. It's difficult for me to continue uh to bring worse news than what we already had. Yesterday you had a catastrophic tornado pass directly through downtown Greenfield, Iowa, with significant damage, homes being leveled, several deaths being confirmed. We don't have the exact number yet, but I'm expecting multiple deaths here as we get into the next few hours. And I'm coming with worse news, honestly, with more and more severe weather coming as we enter the last 10 days of May. First of all, there's a day one enhanced risk of severe weather. We have a 5% tornado probability, a 30% wind, and a 30% SIG hail probability. Very large enhanced risk. This large risk goes all the way up into onto New York, where some damaging winds could be expected. So, but it's not that our main focus. Just shows how significant the next few days could be when enhanced and a slide this big is not our main focus. We also have a day two slide risk of severe weather, right? Big time slide risk, mainly due to capping issues because overall this setup could have actually been a very big situation, but it seems like there are some failures to this setup. Day three is only a marginal, a little bit of a break, but considering the errors, it's mainly over. Very bad. But then we go to the main talking points of this video. Day 4 and day 5. We have a day 4, a very broad day 4 area here, or central eastern Oklahoma, northeast Texas, southeast. I would just say central east, eastern Kansas, Missouri, southwestern Illinois, and also parts of Arkansas. All hazards on the table. I highly expect this to go enhanced risk on day 3. I probably didn't go do it. Didn't go mainly because of confidence issues, but the setup is very interesting. And our main focus is this day 5, 30% square probability, and also a day 6 outlook, which hasn't been out yet, but seems very interesting. Another day that we'll need to looking out. So very busy weekend, all right. Saturday, Sunday, and also Monday we'll need to watch. Day 7 and day 8 onward, it seems like we're going to have a little bit of a quiet period, which I'm not sad at all. I'm more than happy. I also want to show you all CSU, because CSU has been completely ridiculous with the forecasting here. To be fair, I'm going to be fair to CSU. CSU has been very accurate recently. Has done an amazing job on forecasting Iowa's yesterday events, May 6th as well, April 27, April 26. Amazing work from CSU. We have here a day 4 moderate risk. Of course, don't take the probabilities from random. It does probability sometimes. But you can see it shows, the main idea is it's showing severe weather potential all the way up into Nebraska, actually. And also, let me show you all day 5. Day 5, it's exploding. You have a high risk. Yeah. Oh, Lord. Of course, this won't go high. At least I think so. Also, it's a little bit of conditional days, because what happens on one day will impact the other. So, for example, convection from day 4 could impact day 5 setup, but that's something that we don't know yet. So, for granted, let's talk about symbiotics, right? With this out of the way, let's go to the models. Starting off here with the ensembles, then we go to the global models, and then I don't think it will be needed because how far these setups are. But if we need to, we are going to look at the close range models. So starting off here with the ensemble of the GFS, the GFs. Actually, let me go for a 0Z. I don't trust 6Z GFS. And the general idea to see here, we have this drop right here, which was the main producer, the main causer for yesterday's significant severe weather event. And then we have a second drop that digs through from the west, right? And just Actually, there will be a second trough developing in Oklahoma here, which is not clearly visible here, but these will also bring some severe weather for day 2, which is the Cyrus producer, right? And then we can see this very clear signal here as we get into Saturday and Sunday, a very well depicted classic look trough here in the GIFs, right? That which eventually moves to the east. Very clear look. Right? If we also look here at the ensemble of the Euro model, the EPS, we are going to see a similar story, right? Although not exactly equal, but very similar story. You can see a little bit of a disturbance here, right, in in Oklahoma, but eventually what we get is the trough here moving and going to the east. You can see the trough shows on the Sunday and then into on Saturday into Sunday and possibly even Monday. So one thing that I wanted to point out is that as we get into this period of the season, we are not in the period of those. I think I'll notice that on the last severe weather events, but moisture will not be a problem with this sort of setups, right? Let me go here into Saturday, just to show you the amazing moisture action here. You see 76. Remember, we're on the ensemble models, right? They like to underdo. They normally are lower bound because they are contemplating so many runs of the models. So you have here a 74, 75s used all the way up into Kansas. Very, very deep moisture here, right? If we may also look here at the surface-based Cape, you can see here all the way to 4,000 joules per kilogram of Cape. So honestly, instability won't be an issue at all in the setup. Let's look here at the probability of superstar composite being higher than 5, and you can see almost 100. So all the classic signals here are here for significant severe weather events. If we look at the EPS, the Euro model, you will see exactly the same stuff. So let's go here into Saturday, right? And you can see moisture is not that deep, mainly because the Euro model has a little bit of a cool bias, but still moisture is deep, right? And we can't look at much from that. So I don't think I will be able to use. Oh no, actually, SRHF is going to get in that part. So this is the first and probably only close range one we'll be able to look. You can see right here the same signal that we saw on the. Actually, let me bring up the Euro model because I'm going to need to look at it later. You can see the classic look for trough, right? 500 millibar trough, 150 millibar response. You can see exists, right? Actually, let me show that on both the GIFs. You can see right here, and also on the Euro model. Not as strong of a signal, but still exists there. Let's also look here at the dew points here for the SREF, and you can see that the instability, the moisture is pretty high up, 76, all the way up in Oklahoma, right? Let's look here at surface-based Cape, and you can see, whoa, that is a big blob here of instability. Probably going to more to the north than that. 4,000 joules per kilogram of Cape. Let's look here at the probability of superstar composite being higher than 5 once again. 100%. There's no chance of it being lower than that. Storm relative helicity is probably going to be pretty high. Yep, 300s, 200s here, widespread in Kansas and Oklahoma. We can also look at the probability of the significant tornado parameter being higher than 1. You can see 70-80s here in Oklahoma. If we look at the general idea, we have up to 3s, which this part I don't remember seeing in the SREF, right? So, with the ensembles done for now, we'll be back there when we look into Sunday. Let's go to our deterministic models very quick. Let's start off here with the GFS. I think where is the GFS? Okay, there you go. So the GFS setup is probably one of the most impressive setups we've seen. I've seen in the latest a few days. Of course, it's a little bit difficult to say when I did a video like 15 days ago talking about high risk, but this setup is very impressive as well. So you can see right here, but the trough is not that textbook. Like, let me show the entire animation here real quick. You can see this is the trough that caused everybody in Iowa yesterday, right? And you can see as we go into, there's a little bit of a small trough here, the world's smallest trough, as I mentioned on Twitter a few days ago, in Texas, right? And then quickly dying off. But then as we get into Saturday, you can see another one of those very small troughs getting through and developing, right? And eventually going into Sunday as well. Let me show you the 6Z run as well, just for continuity. Just to show you the consistency of the models as well. So you can see that the world's smallest trough ever develops and quickly dies. And honestly, on this run here, I think it's a little bit of a more worst type of run, because you can see a more well-defined trough instead of that little bit messier, weaker trough. You can see well-defined low pressure system there, elongated low pressure system, and then eventually it getting all the way into Kentucky and also Illinois, into the more into the Midwest as we get into Sunday and possibly even Monday. Right? So these are the 2 days of our lives, anyone. Yeah. Let's look here at the 850 millibars actually. You can see yesterday's level jet, which was insane, by the way, most ridiculous level jet I've ever seen. And then you will see on Thursday a little bit of a level jet here. And then as we get into Saturday, you can see another very well defined classic looking low pressure system right here, right? And you can see the level jet getting all the way across Oklahoma and Kansas, right? Also northern Texas, strengthening eventually into the overnight hours. I'm not going to be surprised if we end up seeing a very interesting look, or maybe an overnight event. And then as you continue, that trough gets bigger, and you can see once again a little bit more widespread that second low pressure system, 850 millibars low pressure system developing, and that's very strong. The level jet here, getting across southern Indiana, southern Illinois, Kentucky, Tennessee, Missouri, and also Kansas, maybe even getting to Mississippi. Very interesting look. Let's look thermodynamically wise. Let's look at the dew points here, and we already have a very nice moist. But moisture is only getting stronger as there's pretty much a lack of upper activity here in the south. But then you can see how high up that moisture gets. That's some strong moisture. And on the 27th, on the 26th, actually even crazier. That's some very strong moisture. And then we get into, holy Lord, what the hell is that? Okay, not looking at that. Okay. So, yeah, you can see very stout moisture, very well developed moisture, deep moisture, as well as we're going to see later on the soundings here. If you look here at surface-based cape, you can see, right, the cape for the for the Thursday event, and then as we get farther and farther, this is for Saturday. Look at how strong that instability is. We have like 4,000 joules per kilogram of cape, more than sufficient. Remember, we're global models here. Global models like 200 joule cape. So very interesting look. And then as we get into, oh Lord, as we get into Sunday, this is absolutely ridiculous look that we barely see, honestly. Very interesting looking setup. That's why the SPC mentioned the higher end setup being possible with this. Just very significant look. If we may look at the SRH, the storm relative helicity, right? The measurement of wind shear in the atmosphere. You can see here on the 25, on Saturday that we have, oh boy, we have widespread almost 400 joules per kilogram of joules meter squared per second squared of storm relative helicity. Let me get a very quick sound in here. And oh boy, the level abstraits are pretty decent. Cape is good. And all the SRH is ridiculous. 370. Wow. And only getting stronger as we go to the overnight hour. I mean, if any storm gets survived enough for the overnight hour, that's going to be insane. So, I think we are done for now with the GFS. Let's go to the Euro model, right? The Euro model, we have less things to show, unfortunately, because I am Paul. So, you can see, right, the same idea. The Euro model has a more well-defined look for that trough. More classic look as well. More negative tilted. So honestly, overall, synodically wise, better setup, right? As we get into the 27th, a very classic, maybe not very classic, but very well defined trough. If we may look as well into the SRH, into the low level jet, sorry, you can see the low level jet getting into those beautiful 40s. Very well defined low pressure system there. Also, the dew points are pretty high. Although remember, y'all, it has a cool bias, but 70s and 60s all over Oklahoma and also getting Missouri and Arkansas. Very good moisture. And yeah, I forgot to look at bulk share. And the Lord. Oh wow. Okay. Let me go back to the GFS. So the bulk shear is the direction, if I may say, of the chain. It's basically a way to see the difference of directions of wind as we go up in the atmosphere, which is basically pretty much wind shear. But we can see normally, right? Let me go back to the dew points here. When we have this sort of setup here, right, this classic planes looking events, what we want to have here, which was something that lowered yesterday's tornado threat, of course, not killed it at all. Must remind you, we had a violent tornado in Greenfield. But one thing that it pretty much lowered the potential for that event was the lack, was the very parallel shear vectors, right? If I may draw how yesterday looked, it was something like this. Dry line, the cold front was something like here, and moving southeast, right? And the shear vectors were in that same direction, which were in a parallel direction, right? So pretty much the supercells developed like here, right, and moved up into northeast. What happens is, especially in these cold front events, where cold front is actually a better way of forcing, enhancing the forcing. What happens is that the cold front will eventually congeal all of those supercells into one big line, a quasi-linear convective system, right? And eventually those supercells will probably die. So, what we want, if we look into a more significant severe weather event, is shear vectors perpendicular to the dry line, right? In this case, a dry line, which already helps. It's not a cold front. You can see here the shear vectors are completely parallel, are completely perpendicular, which is going to aid, which is going to help, not aid, which is going to help more discrete supercells, which is only you can show. This is a very interesting setup. If I may say, right? Synodically wise, thermodynamically wise, there might be a little bit of a cap on those near the atmosphere, but that's something that we won't know for certain. And even like considering this is a pretty decent forcing mechanism, I'm pretty sure that these cells will be able to break that to break that gap. You can see the same here on the Euro model, very parallel, although not as parallel, but very, very parallel. I mean, we won't be anywhere between 35 to 75 degrees between the forcing mechanism, right, which is our dry line in this case, and the bulk shear vectors, because if not, we're going to eventually see, right, storm splitting, right, one supercell breaking up into probably one or two smaller supercells, right, which is only going to aid on them eventually becoming more linear. So, if that's done, let's go into Sunday. Let's look at the Sunday setup, right? Let's go a few hours ahead. And you can see here, right, the very well-defined look here for the trough, 150 millibar low. As I mentioned before, as we look into the GFS, the moisture will be ridiculously good. 70s and high 60s into low to mid 70s all across the general risk area, right? That's why we have a 30%, which is not common for the time of the year, right? Although it's more common now than the other time of the year, it's not something that we see every day. And also, instability is probably going to be higher than that. Instability is probably being underdone because it's a global model, right? And then an ensemble of a global model. If you look here at the bulk shear vectors, it seems to be very nice create, I think. Well, I don't think we should continue to look here at the ensembles for now. And now I actually want to take a little bit of time, which I'll be able to use, which I'm able to have, just to take a very quick look at the NAM, because the NAM is the actual first close range model that we are going to be able to see, right? Apart from the SREF, but it's a SREF is an ensemble. So yeah, this is the first one actually that picks the Saturday setup. So let me see the. Oh, okay. Expected it to go higher. Very interesting. Why wouldn't it go higher though? Oh, it goes higher. Okay. Like casual 5,000 joules going. Okay. Okay, I think I've seen enough, right? Oh Lord. Okay. Okay, I'm not going to talk about the dam. I'm sorry, I can't take the NAM seriously this far out. So with the NAM out of the way, let's talk about the two models that are actually useful, which is the Euro model and the GFS. Starting off here, the Euro model, the view is pretty classic for these sort of like Eastern Dixie Alley, if we may say, events. Right, we have an upper level trough, right? It's a little bit negatives to it. It could be more, but already going to be sufficient for a very big low pressure system. And you can see just the strength of the trough going to bring in some good forcing. 850 millibar low is as tight as it can get, honestly. Oh wow. 40-50 knots, very strong level jet. This is going to aid on our wind shear. As we look here at the dew points very quick, and just the same look that we have on the GIFs. Although a little bit weaker because it's the Euro model, very big, very big cool bias here. So you can see right here, very less, maybe weaker moisture, but still more than sufficient. Yeah, I have to remember the yesterday's tornado events have occurred in the 68, I think, Fahrenheit dew points. Very strong moisture. Unfortunately, that's it. I don't have much more to look. It's sad when forecasting being poor. I mean, if we may, let's look at the UK map now at the icon. Let's see what the icon shows. Yeah, the icon shows a solution that I will believe more than the actual solution from the Euro, just because it's more. Yeah, never mind. The icon shows a little bit more to the east trough, right? Seems a little bit more. It seems pretty much the same. 850 millibar low. I'm expecting some crazy stuff. More to the east and actually weaker. I think it's because it's more neutral, I think it's neutral actually. No, it's negative tilted. It makes absolutely no sense. That's the reason why we don't look at the icon model. But you do see here 60s all over the place, up into Kentucky, up into Tennessee, up into actually Illinois and Indiana. So very deep moisture. Mixed layer cape here. Yeah, the instability won't be an issue with the setup. But yep, that's I just really wanted to take a very quick look, because now let's look at the best model that there is for now, which is the GFS, right? So the GFS shows a little bit of a different solution here. It does seem like the trough is a little bit more disjointed, a little bit more messy, if I may say, than the trough on the GFS. Although still on the Euro side, but although still, oh wow, that is some amazing model agreement there. 150 millibar low is a little bit more disjointed, but still well developed. Bringing in the low level jet is going to help a lot. The development of, oh, it's because I'm looking at after midnight. That's a great idea. Okay, now it makes more sense. Oh, okay. So, okay, the dropping on that disjointed. I thought it was more, but it does seem like the GFX, which is normally more progressive, is being a little bit slower with the main trough. Low level jet is so strong in the 40s. The dew points, as I mentioned before, oh, lower 74, 75s here, all the way up into Illinois, Indiana. Very deep moisture here, right? If we may look here at the surface-based cape, wow, 4,000 joules per kilogram of cape, all the way up in the Illinois and Indiana. Okie dokie then. Let's look here at surface-based convective inhibition, and yeah, there ain't no issue with the convective inhibition. Itself should be able to quickly develop. And it does seem like there's a little bit of a gap, but mainly in general, very nice setup. Bulk shear is, I'm not sure why the GFS is so slow with this pro. Interesting. Considering the other models that we show, it's probably a big outlier for now. Interesting. The EHI is booming though. 6.6. Wow. Yep, I think that we can agree that both models show a very interesting setup for both days. Very interesting look. The GFS is probably going to agree more on with the Euro solution, because he's a GFS. He likes to do that. And honestly, the GF solution, which is the ensemble solution, is very worrying, actually, because the trough is already faster. The low level jet has a stronger signal. So yeah, just classic look for 2 days of very interesting, possibly significant severe weather, and maybe even continuing into Monday, but that's a little bit more unsure, right? So general idea is we have multiple days of severe weather potential. Starting off on today, we have an enhanced risk after all, and going all the way into probably at least Monday next week, right? If not longer, but after Monday, it seems a little bit more like it. So that's it. Thank you all for watching. I'll see y'all next time. Hopefully, probably with an update of these setups, but hopefully with a better message than what I have right now, because it's not looking very nice. Thank you for watching. Stay safe, y'all. Help people that are in Iowa recover, because they are going to need it. And if you want to, continue to watch my videos. Bye.